Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back again to the channel. Today's topic will be on celibacy, waiting until marriage. For me, celibacy is to find myself knowing always in the back of my head that I am first married to Christ, even with or without the help of the earthly spouse, I am still fine. Being a celibate is not supposed to be an easy road. But by the grace of God, by the help of the Holy Spirit, we take it one day at a time. And it's not a decision that you will regret because you will find your purpose. Get connected to God. Find yourself while you are celibate better than when you're dating or you're married. Because this is the time for you to find that one thing that makes you happy. That one thing that draws you near to God. When I made this decision to become celibate for the past few years, is a decision that I have to make. And I know that because I say to myself, at the end of the day, my integrity and dignity, my self-image matters to me than trying to please anybody. And I know there's going to be critics, people will talk about me, there will be things like, oh, you have too much standard, you have kids already, why are you trying to be hard to get or things like that. I knew that people would start saying things like that. Or you don't want to try somebody before you get married to them. What if you marry an impotent man? What if you marry this person that is not this and that? My answer is always that that person is not an object, or you can just go by and try. If you don't like it, you return it. I don't want to be something that somebody will look at as an object, and I don't want to treat another son of God as an object. What I'll have to try somebody and return the person. If someone tell me that they want to try me, if they don't like me, they will return me. It will be something that will make me really mad. I'll probably start saying things or do something really bad to the person for saying something to disrespect me that much. So at the same time that I don't want to maybe end up with my soulmate or the one that God has chosen for me. And here at the family reunion, I realized that I slept with half of his cousins. Then that embarrassment, even if the guy ends up marrying me, that guilt will be there every time we go to a family reunion. I know he'll be checking to see if the cousin's still looking at me, or he'll be checking me regularly to see if I'm sleeping when he's sleeping, or things like that. He won't be trusting me anymore. At the end of the day, trust is one of the things that matters. So if I cannot be celibate and control myself and know when to set my boundary, what should I do, what I can do, if I know that after 2 drinks I'm gonna start acting really nasty, then I will have one drink when I go out with my friends or when I hang out with the person that I like. If I know that having 3 glasses of wine is gonna get me drunk and I might end up doing something that I regret the next day, then I'll probably don't want to hang out with him and drinking with him without people that I trust that will bring me back home around. Those are the things that I have to do, and you have to set up boundaries when you are celibate. You can say, oh, I know myself and I know myself. No, we all don't know ourselves. Only by the help of the Holy Spirit we can make it. This is the reason why some people stop being a celibate, and then the next thing they fall into the trap and then they stay in there because, oh, I already fall in there. Why would I just want to start over again? Well, let's just continue. Well, let me tell you, that would be the bad thing you do. If you find yourself in that situation where you fall, you started as a celibate, you don't have to stay in the same position and start doing the same thing. You don't have to keep sinning and hoping that the grace of God will be there for you all the time. You can't keep sinning and hoping that God will deliver you every time. There will be consequences. You might be sleeping with the enemy. You might get pregnant. You might get disease because you don't know that person enough. Celibacy is the time for you to pack up information. I believe in dating all the time. I believe in dating, not to sleep with anyone. That's not what I mean. But dating for me is a time for me to collect information. Let the guy run his mouth, say things that he wants to say. Let me just listen to him and get information. So if I don't like anything, let me get out right away before I put myself too deep in it. What better way to do it than to be celibate? Put your boundary out there and say, you know what, right now I'm focusing on God and me. And whoever that I allow in my life, or whoever that God allows in my life, has to follow certain guidelines, certain procedures, and these are my boundary. If he cannot respect that, especially the godly standards that I put for myself, that a guy has to be humble, he has to be a provider, he got to be a gentleman, he got to be just a godly man that believes in the word of God and knows his position in a family. If a guy is not that, if he says things and he doesn't keep his promises, that's one of the things that just turns me off like really fast. So if I see things like that, doesn't matter how much of a crush I have on the person during the time of celibacy or dating or just having a crush on the person, that's when I'm like, I'm out of here. I run away. People will call you weak or whatever, but I'm out of here. If you cannot keep your words, if you are too stuck up, if the guy just jumped from one girl to the other, doesn't know how to control his mouth, how to control himself around women, he can't open the door and things like that. As much as I want a gentleman, he's not mine. Even if God say he is mine, I will stay away. And I know sometimes God will reveal somebody to you, but their action, their character right now doesn't match what it is that he has been called to do in my life, or what he has been called to help me accomplish. If his character does not maybe aligned with whatever it is that he's supposed to be, this is the time for me to quit that relationship. If I know that I'm supposed to marry a provider, for now, he's going around preaching about marriage is 50-50. Well, he's not mine. And I'm not going to be there trying to fix him. And I'm not going to stand on God's way when God is working on that person. I'm going to be over there. When you come back to your senses, you come back and find me. I am independent woman every day. I don't mind eating alone. I don't mind going to bed alone, as long as I have that peace and as long as I know that I'm first married to Christ, as long as I know that I'm looking for a role model for my children and a role model to maybe my daughter of the future, whether I have children or adopt children. If I'm looking for that role model, he doesn't look like that right now, then I'm going to let God work on him and I'm going to stay far away. I will not stand on God's way. Even if God revealed that person to me as he is my provider, that one person that he chose for me, like the soulmate, if that's what you believe in. If his character does not align uh, on what it is that we're supposed to be doing, then I'm going to stay far away. This is what celibacy does for you. It clears your mind. It gives you that hope that no matter what, God will always provide another road. During my celibacy years, let me tell you one of the things that happened to me. I met this one guy, and after we started talking, he told me how he never dated somebody that didn't have children before, and he's not married and things like that. But I always give myself this time. If it doesn't matter how much you ask me out, I will tell you to give me maybe seven days, maybe 2 weeks, to take that time and pray and talk to you more often before we go to the date. If during those days God reveals something to me, so this person is not it, I'm leaving. It has happened to me recently, even in the past maybe 6 or 8 weeks. When I pray about it, God say no. He's like, no, I'm godly man, whatever, whatever. I'm like, no, God say you are not the one. And guess what? I say him, I'm out of here, and I left. He tried to test me and all whatever, but I closed that contact right away. That's what celibacy does. When I met this one guy that told me that he didn't have kids and things like that, and as we're talking, finally I find out that he has children, he has a wife. I could fall into that one person, sleep with the person, start dating, give all my heart, whatever it is, and then fall back into this one cycle of heartbreaking and saying men are dogs, men are whatever, whatever. The whole time God is giving me all the signs while being said with that, hey, he doesn't match, hey, whatever, whatever. But I could have just followed that person and then end up being hurt. Sometimes God will reveal a person to you, like I said earlier, but if the time is not right, do not stand on God's way. And I like this one verse in the Bible, which is, I think, is Songs of Solomon chapter 2, verse 7, where it says, do not rush love. Do not rush love. Even if God revealed it to you, even if the angel Gabriel came down himself telling you that's your husband, that's your spouse, that's your wife, Do not rush into it. Let God do it slowly. No matter how much of a big of a crush you have on that person, if you rush into it, you will mess it up. Sometimes God reveals somebody to you, the person won't come back to his or her senses until maybe 5 years from now. You go do you, accomplish what it is that God wants you to do. If you're a single mother, start taking your kids out. Maybe start a single mother, single parent group. Maybe start swimming, maybe start traveling. Focus on yourself. Forget that one person for now until God fixes the person. Do not stand on the person's way. Having the wrong person in your life can definitely have an effect in your future, in your life. I can give you an example when I was dating this one guy that when I would pray and God will reveal things to me, he will tell me how he think I'm possessed, maybe I'm worshiping evil spirits, it's a nightmare, things like that. So I started doubting God. Even way before I started dating him, I will pray, God will reveal things to me, and I know, and I've been like that since I was little. Most of the people in my family know that too. But because this guy does not believe in people praying and seeing things, he will pull me down and say things like I'm worshiping voodoo and things like that. So at the end of the day, I started doubting God. But after I left the person, I started praying more often again. I know that that's what God has called me to be in a ministry with young women and to be in a prayer ministry. I know that that's what God has called me to, but because I was with the wrong person who was not in the same level spiritually or higher as me, he will look at me as a threat. So he will do anything to put me down, compare me to things that doesn't even matter to my life. One of the other things that celibacy does help me with is that if I want, like I said, if I want a certain type of a man, like I know in my family, we are well endowed. You see us, we are well endowed from chest to the bottom to everything. But if I meet someone and I know that the person met me when I have extra pound and didn't like me, and then later on years go on and I start losing with the person like me, we're gonna have a problem when I marry that person. I love being healthy. I love working out. I love swimming. I like to be healthy so I can live longer and see my children. But if the guy cannot stand and brace just an extra pound, then he is not for me. If I had to bleach my skin to fit in, if I had to wear my hair a certain way before he can like me, then he is not mine. Sometimes you make your spouse happy by doing little things in there, but if he has to compare me, like wear makeup all the time or dress a certain way, you dress this way, things like that, so making me look like I know I have to be a doll to be around him, or I have to talk a certain way, hold my spoon a certain way, I can't eat spicy food, I can't do this and things like that, then the person is not mine. No matter how much of a big crush I have on you, you have to know that my family is from a well-endowed family. So if you are really against that, then you do not belong in this family. So the person is not mine. So God will have to work on that person far away before he can bring that one person close to me. That's what I'm trying to say. One of the example about dating the wrong person, if you take out the story of Samson in the Bible, where he was living with Delilah, a woman that he's not married to, and he would tell his secret to this woman, and she would tell the enemy that was looking for him and things like that, and they will try to kill him, but it won't succeed. But as much as God is trying to tell Samson that this person, this lady, is gonna get you killed. She's not the one for you. You gotta leave or things like that. He's sitting there getting his secret to that one person that is not in the same spiritual level as him, sleeping with the enemy without knowing the person, without even being married to the person. And then finally, that's how he lost his life. That's how the Spirit of God left him. That's what I'm saying. If you are with the wrong person, if you are sleeping with the enemy, if you don't take your spouse to prayer and pray together, go to that prayer. Maybe God has revealed the person to you. You both know that you're supposed to be together. You got to go through the counseling program or things like that from your church. You got to go ask other people that were married before you. Ask questions and expect answers that are supposed to be a hard truth to see if you guys are ready. Go through this marriage counseling, marriage programs, or things like that to get ready. Because marriage, I heard, is not supposed to be easy. So do not rush it, number one. Number two, let God work on each other's heart. If you find something in your spouse that you know is hard, you cannot change it, you don't know how to say it nicely, take it to God in prayer so that God can reveal to you the way you're supposed to say it, or He can work on that one person's heart. Because as we know, as the Bible tells us, only God can change our hearts, our minds. So for that person to be renewed or something like that, take it to prayer. You can make little suggestions, but if you know you're gonna say it in a harsh way, if you do not know if this is the time for you guys to go ahead to get married or propose or things like that, take it to God in prayer. And lastly, if you guys ever didn't pull the boundary in place and you fall down, don't lay there. Start over. Take it to God in prayer. Just don't repeat the same mistakes, the same sin, and hoping to be forgiven. You will get forgiven. The grace of God is there abundantly all the time, way before you even decide to ask for it. But consequences will be there. If you keep repeating the same things all over, there will be consequences. I hope this video helps you to remain strong in your journey as a celibate, or as a journey as you work with your spouse that you found that God has given you. If you're already married and you were not celibate, I'm not saying that you have to stop being celibate because you're already married, but take it to God in prayer. Whatever it is that God has decided for you, use this time while you're single and celibate to find God, to find yourself, to find your purpose, find your passion, find what it is that God has called you to do. And at the end of the day, He will not disappoint you. I know that He will not disappoint me. I have made my peace that celibacy does not guarantee a spouse for me. But I know that at the end of the day, my God will provide what I need way beyond what I need. I hope this video helps you. If you have any comments, suggestion, put it down below. And I hope to see you back again in the next videos. Okay, bye. Thank you.